up, guys? It's Mrs. Holden, and I'm back with a new video for you for our last week of art projects for the school year. I can't believe the end is already here, and it's been a crazy school year if I've ever seen one. So I'm also super proud of you guys. All the artwork that I've had turned in, whether it was email, Facebook, private groups, or even on Messenger, and some of your parents have texted me. I'm just so proud of you guys. If you didn't get a chance to send me what you've been working on, that's okay too, because I know you're at home and you're working and you're being creative, and I'm sure a lot of you are just kind of doing your thing, and that's perfectly fine. So for this week, I have created 4 projects. A couple of these we do at the end of the year, every school year anyways, and so this is kind of fun to show you how these projects are done. And then I have 2 kind of new ones for you to pick from. So don't feel like you have to do all of them. If you want to, awesome. If you want to do one, perfectly fine. So this week we have end of the year, pick a project, okay? So for this week, the first one is pretty easy. It takes a little time, but I saw this. I had a friend send this to me privately, and it just was beautiful. I thought it was a really cool way to kind of be creative, use patterns, that sort of thing. So what you do is you're going to grab a paper towel or even a napkin. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I guess you could check your toilet paper. I'm not sure that it would work the best with this because toilet paper is kind of thin. But you're going to grab what you have. So this is just like a regular napkin. And you can kind of see that the napkin has embossed designs onto it. And embossed just means it's kind of just like stamped into it. And the paper actually holds the shape of that design. So this particular napkin has some flowers. And then throughout the flowers, there's all kinds of just little ripply, kind of squiggly designs. So what you do, again, grab your paper towel or your napkin, and you're going to grab some markers. Markers work best for this, whether they're a Sharpie or the washable Crayolas or whatever you have. Markers work best because they actually kind of bleed into the material, and that's what you want. So grab your markers, and then you're also going to need some sort of like scratch paper to kind of like slide underneath your paper as you're working, because it will bleed through and it can get on your table. So just a heads up on that. So I went ahead and just kind of outlined with a marker the already embossed designs, and I tried to do kind of a stippling effect where I just kind of did dots, and I liked the way that looked. And then I tried just actually tracing the shape with like a line instead of dots, and I liked the way that looked too. So just kind of all you have to do is re-outline the shapes that you see, and try to fill up the whole paper. If I had finished this and did the entire thing, it would be super cool to look at. It would be super colorful, and again, it does bleed through, so you might want to protect your table. I went to grab my paper towels because paper towels always have some sort of design in them, and my current paper towels designs are literally just straight lines. So as you can see, just straight lines. But then I thought, you know what, if I created a cool pattern, this I did a rainbow, so I just took turns, but could you imagine if I filled this whole thing up, how cool that would be? And it does take some time. I mean, you're sitting here coloring every little mark, but they're beautiful when they're finished. I've already had a student show me what they did, and it's just so pretty. It is so pretty. And again, it bleeds through, so it goes on both sides. Protect your table. So show me what you got. If you did this project, I would love to see that, what kind of patterns you're kind of creating. And the way to be very creative with this, because it's already got the designs, is show me some of your favorite colors and just use those colors over and over. So you can really kind of make it personal and pick the colors you like. Okay, so that's project number 1. The next project you can kind of do is a little bit challenging because it does also take some time, but it's worth it. At the end of every school year, I do a seek and find collage in the hallway where you all make little pieces of artwork, and we put it up on this giant poster, and every couple days I hide a certain little object. Like one year we did Pokemon, and I hid a Pokemon. One year we did Find a Nemo, and I hid a Nemo. So this is kind of like a take on that, and I actually made my own seek and find kind of collage. And so here it is. It's got a lot going on, and seems like a lot of work, and it is, but it goes really fast. and I'll show you a couple tips real quick. So on mine, I have a couple items hidden. Well, let me tell you how I made it first. So first I kind of tried to fill the space up with huge shapes. So my first shape was this large flower, and then this large flower. That took up a lot of my paper. So then all I had to do is kind of go in and fill in the space between it, all that negative space. I just filled it up with a bunch of circles. And then I went back on top and added some designs. He has a spiral, and then I did some curved lines in the petals. Here we have straight lines, and kind of kept with the straight theme with the petals on that one. This one has little tiny circles, try to represent kind of seeds because it's a sunflower. And then I just did some spirals, and I just kind of filled it up. It takes a little time because you're spending a lot of time drawing, but once you kind of get going and you start filling things in, your spaces get smaller and smaller, and then there's less drawing. So it's pretty fun. And then what I did on a separate sheet of paper is I wrote down some items that I hid in this picture. So I have a caterpillar, I have a spider, a snake, and a snail. So I'm just going to show you this and see if you can kind of spot it. So again, I have a caterpillar, a spider, a snake, and a snail. So did you guys find any of those things? And this would actually be kind of cool too, to kind of color and really make it interesting. I just did black and white. So here's my caterpillar. I blended him in with the seeds. Did you guys find that? Here's my spider. He's kind of obvious. He's right there, kind of almost in the middle. Here's my little snail. And I try to give him, since he has a spiral little shell, I try to throw people off by putting spirals and some of the other dots, so it might throw them off. And then can you guys see my snake? Yep, he's right there. So I used a curved line for him and try to kind of camouflage him with some other curved lines around him. So again, see what you can come up with. Another cool way to do something like this is to cut a bunch of pictures out of magazines, maybe like a whole bunch of birds, glue them down, and then cut out some little tiny things that you can hide, and then make sure you write down what you're hiding so you know whoever looks at your picture can find those things. So this is the Seek and Find collage. See what you can kind of come up with. I think that'll be cool. Alright, so that's project number 2. Project number 3. This is something that a lot of my younger kids love. And actually I had a couple kindergartners start to make these, but then we went on our break. So these are paper hand puppets. Mine is my cat Garfield. Isn't he cute? He's just adorable. So here's the cat that I made, and then my kindergartners, they actually used green paper. We made frog hand puppets. So you can use whatever color you want. I actually used computer paper, just plain white computer paper. If you have construction paper, and let's say you're doing a frog, you could do a green paper. So let me show you the steps to make this cute little guy. It's kind of fun to just make. It kind of looks like a W when we're done. So you take your paper lengthwise, and you're going to kind of roll in one side, and you're going to kind of roll in the other side, and then you're going to crease it, and you're kind of creating this long rectangle. Okay, so there's my long rectangle. Make sure your creases are nice and smooth. And then you're going to take this rectangle and you're going to fold it in half. So this is going to get folded in half. Alright, so it kind of looks like the letter V. And so now each half is going to get folded in half as well. And you're going to fold these backwards. So we're going to take this one and we're just going to fold him backwards. So here we go. Creasing as you go. So there's one. And then this guy, he also gets folded backwards. Fold it backwards, give it a nice crease, and so you end up with, looks like the letter M or the letter W, whichever way you like it. And then, so there's the folded side, these are smooth, and then on the back side, you kind of pucker your paper, and so just kind of pucker it open, and you've got 2 openings, okay? There's a top and a bottom. You're going to put your thumb in the bottom, and you're going to slide your fingers into the top, okay? Kind of like that. Hope you can see that. And then next thing you know, your puppet is almost done, okay? And then just something I usually tell my kids when they're working on these in class is when you're gluing pieces on, make sure you kind of pop your puppet on so you know where to put your pieces, so you're not putting it on backwards and then you get done and you're like, oh no, it's backwards. So make sure you keep popping it on every now and then to make sure you're gluing them face forward and not backwards. That was a little tricky. So I actually used another separate piece of paper. I drew my cat's tongue and his ears, and you could draw your eyes, maybe yours has teeth or whatever. Color it, cut it out, glue it down onto your puppet. So here's his ears. And inside where his mouth is, my kindergartners would put like a really long curly tongue, and then they would put flies in his mouth. So you could be creative. I could put a bone in my kitty's mouth. Just see what you can come up with. It doesn't even have to be an animal. You could make this into a person with teeth and hair and that sort of fun stuff. So that is our project number 3. So it is our hand puppet, and just using some simple folds to create the actual puppet out of paper and sliding our fingers into the back like that. Okay, so project number 3. So project number 4 is like a favorite in my classroom, and we always wait till the end of the year to do it because it doesn't take a whole lot of supplies and it's kind of fast. So this is, everybody loves this one, we call it nice fish, mean fish. So I just love this project, and I love its versatility. You could do any animal. I usually try to do a person like Mrs. Holden, and I have a cupcake in my mouth. Some of you might remember that. So this is pretty fun. Also takes just a few folds to make it happen, like the letter M or the letter W like the last one. And then the trick is, I'll show you how to do that. The trick is to make sure the mouth falls on these 2 separating lines, because that's where, if you're going to put something inside their mouth, that's where it's going to fall. It's going to be right in between those 2 pieces. So here's how we draw that, or fold it. It's really quick. You're going to take a blank piece of paper, fold it in half. We call this the hamburger fold because it's a thick fold, okay? And just like the last project, so it's like the letter V, all right? Then you're going to take each half and fold it back and create its own space. So I'm just so again, it's the V. I'm folding it back. Make sure you're creasing as you go. All right, so there's one. And then I'm going to fold this one back. Make sure you're creasing as you go. And you will end up with that W shape or the M shape again. So for this, you've got your top, your bottom, and then you've got the inside. So what I like to do for this, I'm going to make a Mrs. Holden one because that's kind of like my favorite. You're going to take your top and your bottom, and sometimes it's a good idea to draw the mouth first and then fill in around it, because you know that mouth has to fall a top lip up here and a top lip down here, because that's going to open up. So here is Mrs. Holden's mouth. I'm going to try to do this upside down. So here's the top lip, here's the bottom lip. Okay, so now I know that the rest of my shapes have to follow around that mouth, okay? And the mouth falls lower on the face, so I know my eyes need to be up here. My nose is, in the middle. And I'm going to draw my head. And I'm going to go ahead and cross over to the bottom. I can go ahead and draw my neck, maybe some shoulders. And I'm going to do my hair. So, come down, come up on top. Okay, so I look like a completed person. I can add details, eyelashes, a shirt, whatever. Make it as detailed as you want. And then here comes the fun part. You're going to open it up, and you have to connect the top to the bottom. So I need to make sure I'm connecting my long hair and my head. Okay, and then now we see all kinds of space for my mouth. So I'm going to connect my top lip to my bottom, and this is where it gets fun, guys. So I could go and add some, crazy teeth. Mrs. Holden's got some sharp fangs. I can draw a bump to represent my tongue, and then I don't know what could be on my tongue. I did a cupcake in the past. How about I don't know. How about a piece of pizza? Oh yeah. Okay, so there we go. Mrs. Holden is eating her piece of pizza. And this is just so fun. You start off, oh, nice, Mrs. Holden. Hangry Mrs. Holden needs a snack. So I would love to see what you can come up with. The fish is the original go-to. But again, let's see how creative you can be. And can you do another animal? Is the animal facing you head on, kind of like the Mrs. Holden one? So just get creative, guys. So I hope that you can pick something you like out of the things I gave you. And again, it's just 4 projects. It's either the paper towel art, it's the collage Seek and Find, or the hand puppet, or the Nice Fish, Mean Fish split paper. So just pick what you want. And this is our last art project, so if you could still send it to me, I would love to see what you're doing. And again, it's hollie.holden at eastclinton.org, or if you belong to a Facebook page with your teachers, post it on there or private message me. Do what you got to do, guys. And I just would like to say, before I get off here, I would just like to say I miss you guys incredibly. It's amazing how much you guys mean to us teachers, because you know, we feel like you're like our own kids. We treat you like you're our own kids, and we miss you so much. And a little shout out to my 5th graders. I won't get to see you because you will be in 6th grade. So I'll miss you. You guys are going to do great things. You're going to love art with Mr. Ramsey. And if you can pop into the elementary to see your brother or sister or something, stop by and say hi to us too, because we're going to miss you guys. I love you all. I care about you. Don't be afraid to reach out and email me in the middle of the summer if you just want to show me what you're working on. And I love you. Okay? You guys have a great summer. Thank you for everything. Thank you to the families and the teachers for helping make this possible, and Mr. Sedini for posting these on the Astro Academy. So, I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.